Good evening. I have 7 p.m. here in Historic Town Hall on Thursday, November 20th. As we convene our meeting, let's please be reminded that we are being recorded and televised on SCTV. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have anybody here for public comment? I believe we'll be deferring approval of minutes until the 4th. And town manager report.
Good evening. Our next meeting is in 2 weeks on December 6th, which doesn't seem possible. I'm sorry, December 4th. And that'll be a tri-board meeting with the Finance Committee and School Committee. And we also have the tax rate classification workshop that evening. So that's an important one. Some other updates since our last meeting. As the board knows, we've been working for over a decade on trying to identify some wastewater possibilities out at Joint Base Cape Cod, and we've been interacting a lot with the State Department of Environmental Protection and the Federal Environmental Protection Agency to try to get some clarity on what we might be able to do. And so DEP has set up a remote meeting with us early next week. So we're hopeful about, maybe getting some guidance if it could move forward. And as much if it can't, we want to hear that as soon as we possibly could. So I don't think we'll get a final answer next week, but it's good that they reached out and got back to us after speaking with the federal regulators just to give us some direction. So I would think in a couple weeks we'll be able to give you some insight on what we heard. If it's anything earth-shattering, I'll let you know right after the meeting. As the board's aware, we're working with the towns of Barnstable and Yarmouth to establish our regional emergency communications center. We were going to have a meeting on that this afternoon, and Yarmouth had to cancel the meeting at the last minute late yesterday. So we'll be meeting on that either in December or just after the holidays, but I was assured everything's progressing well with the effort, and as we find out more, we'll be sure to give you an update. I think we've shared previously that the site that's been identified is if you're facing the Barnstable Police Station, just to the right, you can see there's cleared land there. It's very flat, so I believe the next grant we would receive would be for actual construction funding. So I'll know better about dates after we hold that meeting. Last night was the Military Civilian Community Council meeting at the base, and I thought there were two things just to give you really quick updates on. As the board recalls, Mass Development had started a master planning process out at the base about 2 years ago, and then other regional agencies wanted to get involved as well, and so talked to the state. So the state asked Mass Development to go out to bid and get some additional consultants to work with. So they gave an update, meaning Mass Development, at the meeting last night, and that work in earnest should start at the beginning of 2026, and it should take 18 to 24 months. There'll be numerous public outreach sessions on various issues during the length of the review. And they also are going to be seeking comments from the boards, the commanders, when they come around to do their annual update in January or February. That had to be rescheduled because of the federal closure. They'll give us updates on that whole process. So I think we'll have a lot of time to give some feedback. One of the things I said, and I've said at all these meetings, all the different things they want to do out at the base, none of it can happen unless they upgrade their own wastewater system. So they're going to be forced to do the same things we've been talking about. So a lot of it all ties together. The Barnstable County and their solid waste coordinator has been working with people at the base, and especially the town of Bourne, to try to work on a regional organic waste compost facility, possibly to be sited at the base, that eventually could be county-wide, but the goal would be to start it with just for Upper Cape towns in the county. They issued a final report today we received a copy of, and I believe Heather and Paul will be going to some follow-up meetings. The goal is to try to do the Upper Cape as the test towns for a few years before it would be expanded further. And so where the 4 towns have familiarity working with the Otis Transfer Station Board of Managers on the solid waste facility, I think they're looking at one of the locations very close to that. So that'll be interesting as that develops. They anticipate the total cost that the towns in the county would have to come up with for an 18 to 24 month startup would be about $75,000, and the county's committed to funding half of that. So I think we'd only have to come up with $7,500, which we could handle easily if that does move forward. But I know we'll be hearing more about it and trying to push that. 2 last quick ones. The deadline for any larger scale requests to the Community Preservation Act funds is November 15th. And so I just wanted you to know there were 3 applications submitted, one from the Masonic Lodge for roughly, and these are rough numbers, about $500,000. One from our rec department for a hair over $500,000, and one from the school department for the courts at the middle high school for just over $700,000. And so once we get the full applications with the backup material, the board will remember, at least on the municipal ones, you guys have an internal policy of anything more than $50,000 you want to know about and take a vote on before the CPC meets about it. So once we get those full applications in, I can schedule that on an upcoming meeting. And then lastly, Melissa is trying to schedule a couple of liquor license hearings for our second meeting in December, which is December 18th, right around the holidays. I know typically the board considers maybe meeting earlier that time. So before we leave tonight, if we could figure out when we might be able to start that meeting, or if you just want it at the normal 7 o'clock, she just needs to run the ads over the next week or 2. And that was it.
Thank you. Anybody with anything for Bud? Okay. Correspondence, statements, and announcements. Okay, I have a few, if you don't mind. A special town meeting, Monday the 17th. Thank you to all who attended. School committee met yesterday. The Sandwich Public Schools Food Pantry and Food Drives. The Sandwich Middle High School Guidance Counselor Nicole Alexander and social worker Diana Smith are successfully engaged in programs that will benefit both our student population as well as the Sandwich Food Pantry. Meanwhile, Oak Ridge School Council is partnering with Sandwich Middle High School student Macy Christensen in a very successful food drive to benefit the Sandwich Food Pantry. The building and transportation studies are both progressing, and results should be available in late December or early January. The Massachusetts School Counselor Association will be conducting a program in review of Sandwich. The cost will be covered by the Career Innovation Pathways Grant. The school department budget goals will be ready for discussion on the 4th at the joint board meeting. Going forward, the Department of Public Works food drive is going on at the recycling station as well as DPW offices through November 23rd. And on Wednesday, 11/26, the Sandwich Police Department will be conducting a food drive and a Toys for Tots collection at the Quaker Meeting House Road Stop and Shop from 12 noon to 2 p.m. And that's all I have right now. Yes, Mr. George.
I got something. This is the right time to bring it up. Mr. Tilton is still here, and I have a question for him, probably. I brought up to Bud like 2 weeks ago about going by the Wing School and the crosswalks there. We had one person already get killed there, and lately there's been people crossing back and forth and kind of jumping out of the woods and trying to go across the crosswalk. In Bourne by the library, they have these flashing solar crosswalk lights. And the last several days down by the Wing School across from Cook's, I've I've had a couple people standing at the crosswalk and looking both ways and trying to dart across there. So my question is, why can't we take and put up a couple of crosswalk signs with a solar one flashing? It can't be a lot of money, and that's why I wanted to ask Mr. Tilton if he knows the cost of a unit. It's a solar panel on top of it. It's got a crosswalk sign with flashing lights, and it flashes to tell people, hey, look, watch out, somebody might be crossing the walk. If it isn't a lot of money, I'm sure we could come up with some money for that, and we can elaborate later on and do the ones with the push button and whatnot, but I hate to see somebody else get killed there, and with the new housing, people are gonna be coming out of there, and they're gonna be crossing that. So, can we see if we can get a price from him, and if it isn't too expensive, maybe we can go forward with it.
Sure, if you have an answer now, Mr. Tilton, please come on up.
Yeah, thank you, Paul Tilton, DPW Director. I don't have a specific answer right now. I can tell you that we are looking at upgrades at that crosswalk right there in terms of the ADA ramps, improving the crosswalk itself, particularly because of the new affordable housing there. There's a lot of activity going on there, and you have a conservation area across the street. So we are looking at upgrading that location. We haven't looked at the flashing signs yet. We do have a few other locations in town, like Katuah Road. We're looking at the rapid red flashing beacon. So that would be an option there. We'd have to take a look to see if it meets warrants. It's a historic area, so it's a little bit different than Katuah, so we'd have to take that into consideration as well. But we can certainly look at, upgrading the.
Are they very expensive, the solar ones?
Are they expensive?
Yeah.
It depends on what we put out there. There's different levels of signs you can put out there, flashing signs. I think the best ones are the ones like you see at Quaker Meeting House Road. The solar ones, pretty sturdy, but it's big, it's massive. It's going to be a difference to that area aesthetically, and I think that's something that we'd have to take into consideration as well.
Yeah, I've seen them over in Bourne by the library, and they flash all the time. They're, maybe 2 foot by 2 foot, and they got lights all the way around them, and there's a solar panel on top of it. And I've seen it in other towns, and just a post, a sign, solar panel.
Yeah, some of the lesser ones are probably $5,000, but they're not as effective. I guess require a lot of maintenance. I know Barnstable had some, and they ended up getting rid of them. The more expensive ones are probably $25,000, $30,000.
Right.
We're getting a grant for the ones on Katuah Road.
Yeah, I mean, we've got problems all over town, but I mean, we got these people in there living there now, and I'm seeing more and more and more people trying to cross. Is it something you think that we probably could get in there in a short amount of time until we can get a better thing for it?
Yeah, that's on our list of crosswalks to take a look at and upgrade. So we'll consider the other option as well.
Okay, but
I would just add, I think at our last DPW public safety staff meeting about a month ago, if you remember, we were successful in getting a grant for 3 additional crosswalk locations, 2 on Snake Pond Road, and I think, was it one on, I forget where the third one was.
Well, we're looking at one.
Yeah,
Town Neck.
Town Neck, that's what I thought. And just so you know, the state took back the money. So we got notice on those that was rescinded. Don't know why, but Chief Keene got the notice about that. So it's stuff we're trying to figure out.
have we got any money available that we could use?
I don't know what we have identified for that specific thing. I know we have the Katuah funding.
Yeah, as part of the additional funding we got last year for the highway budget, we sort of break it down into needs, roadway needs, sidewalk needs, drainage needs, and part of that assessment is looking at where do we need sidewalk upgrades, where do we need to upgrade our crosswalks, and that's included in the budget, so we're breaking that down right now in terms of what our priorities are in that sense.
I just look at what we just talked about, CPA funds. We're talking thousands of dollars right there out of the CPA funds. And it's kind of embarrassing. We're going to spend probably close to $1 million on CPA funds, but yet we can't put up flashing lights and save somebody's life. That's where I'm coming from, basically. I think we should be able to come up with money somewhere. try to save someone's life. I mean, sooner or later, somebody's gonna get hit there. Okay, well, something we'll have to work on then.
What we need is under analysis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, the Sandwich Select Board will hold a public hearing on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, at 7:05 PM at the Historic Town Hall Auditorium, 130 Main Street, Sandwich, Massachusetts, 02563, for the purpose of reviewing the town's schedule of fees and considering promulgating new fees or revising existing charges.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, and the schedule of fees and charges for all town departments, including Sandwich Hollows Golf Club and the transfer station. So,
Yeah, so just quick background, like we advertised, we let department heads know we were going to do the annual fee hearing, and we heard back from two departments. They're both here tonight. One, the golf department, and Assistant Golf Director Juliet Swift is here. And then for DPW, Paul Tilton's here. They can explain it better than I can. But I know when looking at them, they're both very reasonable requests. And I know when we get to Paul's, the board understands, I think, why we have to look at those fees this year, which he can explain.
Mr. Chairman, can we just take a vote to open the public hearing?
Didn't.
I apologize.
okay. Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Thank
It's
you.
unanimous.
Sorry.
Ms. Swift, would you like to lead off?
My name is Juliet Swift. I'm the Assistant Golf Director at Sandwich Hollows Golf Club.
You're good.
Good, yeah. So I am here to ask for an increase in our membership rates for the 2026 golfing season, which begins on January 1st with increases each calendar year for the next 3 years. We're looking to increase our membership rates by $50 for each membership, with the flexibility to increase it to 60 should we incur any unanticipated costs. This increase will assist us in covering day-to-day operational expenses, as well as support potential wage increases for our seasonal and year-round staff. Currently, a year-round golf pass at all local municipal golf courses on the Cape is about $14.25, not including cart fees. So as you can see in your packet, even after the $50 increase, we will still be far below the average membership. As we've learned, there's nothing cheap on a golf course, so we really need to increase the rates to keep up with the projects that we have going on and that we want to keep doing every year.
Okay, so we thank you. And we are competitive with the surrounding courses?
Yes, we are. We're actually a little bit lower than that, and now that we've the town put in the irrigation system, we're starting to see the fruits of that. So the irrigation system has been in for about 3 years, and our public play as well as our membership rounds have gone up. We're up to about 380 members right now, and our public play has increased dramatically over the summer, and it's due to all of the improvements that we've made and we want to continue to make.
More young people as well?
Yes, so we have been fortunate enough to host the Sandwich Golf Team, the Upper Cape Tech. So we have a lot of younger golfers, but our young adult membership, which is $380 right now, has gone up. It will go up $50, but we have more young adults playing, and that age group is from 18 to 30. So we have a lot of up-and-coming golfers who I believe are going to stay with the program we're putting in place.
Yes, build the future.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody else on the board for Ms. Swift?
Yeah, just a
Couple of questions. So I know that we're less expensive than the other courses, and then as I'm looking through, is there a change? Because I see that like Eversource is, it's going to go up by 27%. The personnel is going up 10%, and then the golf cart leases went up like 40%. Do you think that what we're charging on the annual pass holders is enough, being that we're one of the cheapest ones? Like if we went to, hypothetically, like I did the average was, the other course is $13.58, is the increase of like an additional $50 just to have yourself covered? Because if the rates go higher than that by Eversource, do these fees, you believe, have enough cushion in there so that it's not a problem?
I think the additional $10, bringing it to 60 if we needed to go up, would cover our costs. Right now, we are competitive with what we have to offer. The course is in great shape, but it could definitely improve. And so I think that if we go up incrementally, it'll be a little bit of a softer blow to our members, because I do want to take that into consideration, and I don't want to go up too high, too fast.
Okay. And then the other question I just had was because the golf cart leases went up, what I would say was pretty significant.
Yeah.
Has anybody done an analysis to whether it's more feasible to purchase the golf carts versus lease them? Is that something that you guys have looked into?
So what happens is at the end of our golf carts get beat up, and as I'm sure
Yeah.
they do at every course. And the last lease that we had, the carts were in really rough shape by the end of the lease. And at that point, you have to put all new tires on them. Most of them will need significant work because they get beat up every day. So it's actually more cost effective for us to lease them than it is to purchase them outright, because then we're just continually making repairs to them, as well as then you have carts that are down, and in the summertime, down one cart can really create a backup. So at this point, leasing is the best option for us, because then we get a brand new fleet, every 5 years.
Okay. And the last thing was just the per round fee. I didn't see.
Yeah, I think we give the golf staff the flexibility on that
Yep.
because,
Yeah.
if it's a really hot day and we're not getting much play, we drop the fee to see if we can get more people to come in on short notice, and it works pretty well.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Thank you.
What's the overall membership trend for overall membership count?
So right now, we have 380 members. It's probably, we've seen an increase with our lady membership this year. We have a lot more female members. We have a lot more juniors. So it's really, it used to be predominantly just men who were playing there. And now it's really spread out across the board we have younger kids playing, older folks. So,
That's additive, though, to what was there before?
yes.
Good.
And I just add, with the capital improvements we made, especially with the irrigation system, like the course is really coming around, especially the greens and around them. It really shows. And I'm just being honest. Like, I think if you look at our layout, like, it's pretty notorious in good ways and in bad ways. And if you compare ourselves to some of the other Cape Municipal courses that were professionally designed and laid out, they truthfully can offer a slightly better product than we can. So I think we sort of have a sweet spot at being at the low end of the Cape average. But we've had record revenues the last 2-3 years, and this summer was exceptional, July and August. So we're doing well.
Just while we're promoting, I'll just say it's great to have the course in great shape. Irrigation improvements make a huge difference, especially carrying through the season. And then for those people watching at home, if you haven't been to Sandwich Hollows and you haven't played there, you haven't played at the only golf course on Cape Cod that doesn't have a house on it.
That is true.
And that is really something really important, that you can, some of our best courses on Cape Cod, the way I play, you pick a ball out of somebody's yard. And it doesn't happen when you play our course. And it's a phenomenal thing.
Yes, each hole is secluded, you have a little privacy,
Yeah, it's,
very unique.
yep, it is.
I'll ask anyway, Ms. Swift, but the leased carts, who's responsible for the repairs?
So we have a agreement with Yamaha where they come once a month. It's a service agreement, and they come, they check them out, make sure that there's nothing wrong with them. If we have a cart that's broken, we put it in the back. But Yamaha, who services our lease, also services the golf carts.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes.
We love this topic. We spent a lot of time on it. I know Guy and Juliet both know this, but you're looking at only the membership fees, and those are a relatively small portion of the total fees that operate the course. The lion's share of the revenues come from daily play, and they do, as Bud mentioned, have the flexibility to increase those, but they're very cautious to make sure that we are maintaining the level of play out there, and have done an exceptional job over the last few years in generating that revenue to support operations. We know it's something we need to monitor and continue to invest in the property, and the members are really seeing the value and get the most play of the course.
Thank you. Does anybody from the public have a question for Ms. Swift? Yes, sir. Please.
Juliet, can you just make sure the mic is really close up to you? I'm not sure we're getting your best.
State your name and address, please.
Jeff Picard, 24 Captain Payne Road. The question I have is on the leasing. You didn't, you indicated the leases went up 40%,
Correct.
but you didn't share why. Do we know why the leasing went up so high?
I wasn't involved with the signing of that lease. However, we did get a brand-new fleet of golf carts that have USB ports as well as rain covers, so that would account for the increase in the lease, the monthly lease.
It seems 40% seems a lot, just because they put USB. I mean, everything has USBs today. That's pretty typical. Is that a competitive lease? Did we go out and we compete these?
Yeah, we bid that, and there's also state bids that we go off of, but yeah, it is.
And when was the last time it was bid?
It was just done for the new lease. Yep.
And when we saw a 40% increase like that, did we check with other courses to find out if everybody was seeing that kind of lease, in case we missed something?
So with the leasing, some courses will use electric golf carts, we use gas, and we have always used the Yamaha product, so we just went with what we had before.
Okay, but that can get you down a bad path if we don't challenge ourselves to occasionally look at it and see who we use and why we use them and what others are doing and how competitive it can be.
I
just think it's something we need to look at. It doesn't sound like this has been analyzed very well.
Just as a side note, that when you do the math on it, 5 years ago was pre-COVID, so that, factors into the cost of, all these things as well.
I understand, but we don't know. We went up 40. We don't know what other golf courses went up. If they went up 20, why are we up 40? If we're all up 40, I understand that, but we should be asking a question. And I appreciate everything you're doing. Don't get me wrong. And I don't play golf, so I can't speak directly to the industry or the market and so forth. But it seems to me we should have better insight when we get that kind of change as to what caused it, and did we miss something? Just pause for a minute. Ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion.
There's one more.
Yeah.
Sorry, we still have DPW.
Other ones.
Yeah.
Well,
We can vote on this, right?
let's
Keep it open.
That's good.
if you don't mind, split them.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, make a motion to approve for that separately?
Right.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve the new fees and charges, the Sandwich Hollows Golf Club is presented.
Second.
Motion, Mr. George, second, Mr. Hockner. Let's do a roll call vote, though, please.
Aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Swift.
Thank you for your time
you.
tonight.
Mr. Tilton.
Paul, could you use move to the other mic? I'm not sure that one's working well.
Thank you. I'm here tonight as part of the fee hearing to present the proposal to increase
Hey,
police
Paul.
station sticker fees.
Can you switch the mics?
Oh, sorry. Is that what you said? I said turn it off.
Thank you.
Is that one better? There we go.
There we go.
A little scratchy. The fee we're looking at increasing is the sticker fee. It's not really a sticker fee because we don't have any stickers anymore. But for the sake of ease, we'll call it sticker fee. Some people have trouble changing from the dump to the transfer station, so it'll probably always be sticker fee. But it's our annual fee, and hopefully the information I gave as part of the package is pretty self-explanatory. But I'll go over that briefly. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just a little bit of history. Back in FY22, the select board decided to increase the fees annually at the transfer station, alternating between the sticker fee and the bag fee. The reason for that is because of the increasing fees for solid waste and recycling, which every year was going up, and I was coming in front of the board requesting additional increases each and every year. So that covers it automatically each year. Currently, the sticker fee right now is $90, and based upon the schedule, the alternating schedule, that's due to go to $95 starting January 1st, 2026. So the contract that we have with ReWorld, which is also known as Covanta and CMAS, we've had a contract with them since 1985, going back 40 years. Back then was the tipping fee, which basically is the disposal fee at the facility, was $15 per ton. We've hauled it by tractor trailer, we've hauled it by rail, we're back to tractor trailer now. We've gotten some very favorable fees over the years from Covanta, ReWorld, mainly because we jumped on board early. We've also been very loyal to them over those 40 years. Unfortunately, the current contract expires at the end of this year, December 31st. There was an option to extend that for 5 years. Unfortunately, ReWorld opted not to exercise that extension for an additional 5 years. It would have had an automatic 2.5% escalator per year. But because of the world of solid waste these days, it continues to rise. They did not extend that contract. They did come back with an offer for at least 1 year of an increased tipping fee, and it was roughly $99, $100 in that range for that first year, and that's up from $83 per ton that we're paying right now. So currently, our town council is negotiating with ReWorld to hopefully get a 10-year contract. They've been signing 5-year contracts with a lot of towns, but we're looking for a longer-term contract, 10 years, hopefully get better rates if we get that 10 year as well. So we hope to hear back from council on that real soon. So based upon that initial 1 year tipping fee of the $100, the impact on sticker fees is going to be $7.50 additionally. We recommend a $10 increase to adequately cover the additional disposal costs for next year. So basically, January 1st, 2026, that cost would be $105. So that's a $95 scheduled increase plus the additional $10, which equals $105. We're also recommending the fees for the second and third vehicle stickers to increase to $30. It's currently $20 right now. Any significant changes as part of the contract with ReWorld, if we see something that's a little bit higher than what we're dealing with here, we'd come back to you, obviously, and talk about additional fees. But I think next year, automatically, we're going to have to come back once we have a contract in place. We know what the escalate is each year. we can determine what our annual fee should be percentage-wise. If we're increasing the bag fees by a certain percent or the sticker fee by a certain percent. We'll know that probably within the next couple months.
Thank you. Anybody, any questions for Mr. Tilton?
My favorite topic. So, Paul, just, I know I've asked this question in the past before, and I'll ask it again, is with the sticker fees, if you went with a lower sticker fee but a higher bag fee, what's the, in if we give you more leniency to change the bag fee? Because, you know, it's, I don't know, I look at it like, you know, part of me says that we should either do away with it or give $1, you know, sticker fee and then just charge for the trash for what it is, you know, leaving the facility. What is the advantage of doing the higher sticker fee versus like a higher bag fee?
So it's this increasing the bag fees each year is a little complicated because we have to reach out to Waste Zero, company that manufactures and distributes the bag and takes care of all the finances behind it. They have to make a change the bags, notify all the companies, and then appropriately change that fee. The sticker fee is simple. And we just put it on, we mention it at a select board meeting, we put it on our website, we put it on a variable message board, and that's very simple process. I've been told also that some people don't like seeing the increase in the bag fee because it's there every time they buy bags. The sticker fee is a one-time thing. You pay once and you're done, you move on. So.
Yep, sure.
I think you got a point. From the regular person that buys bags and pays the fee, I think if you pay the fee, it only hurts one time. You got to keep paying on the bags, and the price goes up. It hurts every time you buy it. And you think of it. So I think it's more feasible to, if we don't increase the bags, and you pay your fee, you pay it once, you forget about it, kind of, and you pay the same for the bag, and it doesn't you know hurt you as much. I think as increase it every time to pay for those bags.
I think we had inflated the sticker fee quite a bit at some point in the past to keep the bag fee reduced.
Same, yeah.
Because folks don't want to pay that ongoing increased variable cost.
We went from 55 right up to 90, I think, in one shot.
I mean, I think it should all be free, but
Mr. Ellis.
Well, I hate to be the, well, first of all, on the, where we're saying there's a proposed fee beginning January 1, let's just be straight, forget the word scheduled and say it's a $15 increase. Because to confuse someone thinking it's a scheduled increase and then we're throwing $10 on it is not as bad as if it wasn't scheduled. Who cares if it was scheduled? It's a $15 increase, straight up. Tell it like it is. But I have to figure out a way to say this as nicely as I can. But what we're being asked right now is to make the ultimate decision without all the cards, without all the information. So for me, looking at this, when I look at this, I want to see how many stickers did we sell? How many second stickers did we sell? How many third stickers did we sell? How much are we, in other words, the whole, I'm willing to support a fee increase if it's justified, but right now, we're working on faith. I just have to come here and say, you know what, Ellis, no matter what, I'm going to believe what's in front of you. Be the guy, go along, don't be a pain in the neck. But I can't. There's a part of me that doesn't let me do that. So I would suggest, where are we? So I guess that leads to my real fundamental question. Where are we on a timeline for this? Are we on a strict timeline? We got to vote this tonight?
No,
Or we
could
can't
continue
carry
the-
on?
You could continue the public hearing for the next meeting.
well, can I ask a related question? So the sticker fee increases on January 1st, but the stickers go from July 1st to June 30th, right?
Right,
So if you go buy a sticker on January 1st, it's,
right, because people started buying them prior to,
all right, so, but if I
The
buy a
fiscal year.
sticker on January 1st, is that for July 1st?
right. So, yeah, if you purchase them after January 1st, then it's for the,
When the mailing goes out with the tax bills, this is updated on there. But my other question is, we're in negotiations for the tipping fees right now, right?
yeah.
So our current contract for tipping fees runs through when?
The end of this year, December 31st.
December 31st.
Right.
So, but my other question was, what is that new amount going to be?
I think for next year is $99.50, right? The tipping fee.
So the sticker fee starting,
I think, sorry.
Well, it says their proposal is, but we're still negotiating the contract, right?
No, I think we extended the next year, right? And then the new contract starts after that?
They're still negotiating it,
Right.
but that was what CMAS's proposal was for the next year.
Oh,
yeah,
Based on 2,400 tons?
yeah, roughly 2,400 tons. We have about 4,900 sticker holders each year. The second and third car, probably a couple hundred. So the numbers are all
Yeah.
part of that equation I used to figure out that cost. The best we have to go by is that initial offer from Reworld at $100 per ton. I don't think it's gonna be any higher than that. I don't know for sure, but hopefully find out soon what that first year
It's
is.
not that bad an increase.
It's not. Compared to other towns,
Yeah.
they're seeing a lot higher than we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we were on board early and we've been loyal for 40 years.
But as we go through this by the bag system, part of our due diligence is to flush this out every 5 years and not just huck a number out there. Let's know what it's built on. What's that number built on? And maybe the sticker prices are having an impact on people using it. And trend-wise, we also really need, this is an important financial trend thing, because if we're trending away from people using the facility, then you're looking at 10 years down the road, having to make substantial repairs to the building, rolling stock that we need to reinvest in. I mean, there's a lot of capital costs that are required to make this work. And in terms of taking money out of our enterprise funds to buy new equipment like this, tractors that are, $700,000 and trailers that are $200,000. They use backhoes that are $200,000 backhoe. So in order for this to be done right, it's got to be based on the numbers.
Well, this is also probably one of the most sensitive and contentious subjects in town from a fee perspective.
It is.
Yes, Mr. Dunham.
I just say, if you look at the bottom of the one-page summary, I made sure we added this because I think it's really important. And if you look, there's like a 8-year history of what our free cash certification is for the enterprise fund at the end of the year. And when you figure that the operating budget is just under $1.1 million a year, and the 3 cost centers that we've all been told for decades will constantly go up, and they have, are solid waste, wastewater, and health insurance. It's inevitable. It's going to get worse. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. I think Patrick and Paul both hinted at it, that we've been on a sweetheart deal with CMAS for a long time because we were one of the first municipalities that signed up with them ever. And we have very reasonable increases year to year. And if you look at
It
the
was a
other...
27-year agreement when we first signed it.
If you look at the other Cape towns that were also given the same notice because it was automatically going to renew for 5 years. So we didn't want it to renew. We wanted it to renew to keep going up 2.5% a year. Those towns that have gotten the same letter, their proposed increases are quite a bit higher than ours. And I think we're getting a little bit less than them because we've been going to them. And there is no, I just want people to understand, there is no other choice. There's not another option for us to bring our trash to right now. We could close the transfer station, and I don't say that lightly. We could do that. People could let the private sector run the thing, and everyone could have private pickup. We don't need to run it anymore. We just cap the landfill, we're done. But it's inevitable. I mean, these costs are going to go up and up over time. And if you look at that enterprise fund balance, when you notice, you know the price of the equipment that we have to replace periodically, like that's why every once in a while we look to the general fund to pay for equipment because there's not enough in the enterprise fund to pay for that.
Well, just to your point, but I think it would be interesting to see the sticker purchasing rates over time from how much the volume, right? Because we continue to sustain that facility, but it's really doing well more than it was ever intended to on day one. And when it's busy, it's chaotic.
But it might be running half the tonnage that it was at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay-as-you-throw obviously has helped that. I think it was 5,000 tons annually before pay-as-you-throw.
Yep.
About half that now.
I'm just like, are we selling the same amount of stickers year over year, or is it up or down, or?
Yeah, that's
I
a
have no
reasonable
idea.
question.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
that's a reasonable question. And Paul, we can develop that, right?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Are we selling the same amount of stickers year over year, or is it going up or down?
When we initially adopted pay-as-you-throw, it went down quite a bit, but then it came back up. We roughly average about 105,000 sticker holders per year. I think it dipped last year a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean,
roughly
that's a
about
lot of
4,900.
stickers. That's primary stickers or primary and secondary?
Just primary. And that's higher than most towns. The majority of our residents use the transfer station versus other towns.
That would be a majority of households.
This goes back to, I think, when we did the pay-as-you-throw, and again, I'm looking to Patrick because he'll remember, I think when we first opened the transfer station, roughly 30% of the public used it. And by the time we went to pay-as-you-throw, it flipped, and 70% of the public was using it and 30% wasn't.
Yeah.
We can get more data if that's what the board needs. I don't think the rates are going to, the price per ton is going to be drastically different, either up or down from what CMAS proposed. We're not in a great negotiating position where they've offered us a less price than most others. But I know Matt Farrer from Town Council's office, who has negotiated several agreements for other towns, is working with his counterpart to try to get, we want a 10-year agreement. I'm not sure if they'll entertain that.
Anybody from the public?
Jeff Picard, 24 Captain Payne Road. Question I have is, I heard you speak to the sticker, and I heard you speak to the bag. There's also a price for items that you bring in. You buy the tickets out of the little machine. When was the last time that was looked at? And, you know, does that periodically get looked at to see if those costs are going up, going down, sideways? We're covering those costs. What are we doing there?
So we do look at those fees annually as well. We compare them to the cost of disposal. We compare them to other towns. I think the last time we had an adjustment there was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, but we do look at that annually.
And the reason that it's been 2 or 3 years is because the costs have not gone up, or does it need to be looked at again?
Correct. They haven't gone up. I think the most recent and substantial increase was for mattresses, because companies were no longer taking mattresses that are in bad shape and soiled. So I think that cost went from $25 to $50.
Thank you. And a comment on bags, it's tough sitting out in the audience and hearing everything. There's always a debate about should you have a sticker, should you have bags, should you have both. One thing that, as we debate this, to always keep in mind that one of the ideas behind bag fees is that it helps promote recycling. Folks, as opposed, because we don't charge for recycling, you need a sticker to get in, but you're able to recycle. Less goes into the bags, less to dispose of, and so forth. It's always a balance. But I think it is a good idea to have both a sticker and a bag fee. I think most towns have found this does promote some good behaviors as opposed to just throwing everything out. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Bud.
If I could just add one other thing, and I only know this from some of the presentations I've seen from the county about that organic recycling goal out at the base. Countywide, the percentage of organic material in the waste stream is by weight is 35%. So I mean, that's probably going to be a hard commodity to get used to recycling, but if people can do that, I mean, that would substantially lower some of the tonnage even more. But how that works, and I think it's something that the county wants to start with the 4 towns on the Upper Cape, and then see if it can be expanded, and hopefully people get used to it and it grows. But that'll be interesting.
You're speaking of kitchen waste in particular, like household waste? Yeah. Oh, it's heavy. It's a heavy part of our waste stream.
Just, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to quick note, but the other variable here is that when the pay-as-you-throw program was initiated, the recyclables actually generated revenue against the cost of the transfer station. And at this point, and we don't have the costs in front of us, but the disposal fees to get rid of the recyclables, the cost per ton is about the same as the rubbish at this point, right?
Correct.
So there's no revenue that exists there anymore. It's all expense.
Right. Just to add on to what Bud said about the composting, we're going to start food composting at our facility as well. We're going to have a bin out there. Folks can bring their food scraps, drop it in a bin. So helps a little bit reduce the cost of disposal for them as well. And we also have a food drive. You may have heard about that, collecting cans at the transfer station to help the sandwich food pantry.
Okay. Let's do, if you will, a motion to close the public hearing, and then we'll discuss what Mr. Tilton can bring in for us to analyze over the next 2 meetings.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Mr. George, second by Mr. Hockter to close the public hearing. Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Now,
I would say though, if you decide to continue it, you should also say that, just so the public knows.
Oh, yeah,
reopen it then.
oh, yeah. Okay. So,
Would you like a motion to continue hearing for the next 2 sessions? Is that,
That's what we need to do. Make a motion to continue the next 2 sessions. Okay, make a motion, we continue the hearing for the next 2 meetings.
second?
We're going to have
yeah, do we
public
wanna
hearings at the
not
next
have
2
some
meetings, or we're going
meetings,
to
though?
come back in 2 weeks and be done?
Yeah.
right,
He come back in 2 weeks?
We could just continue the public hearing until December
Right.
6th? Is that adequate?
until the issue is
Unless I missed
resolved.
something?
Yes.
I expect that we'll hear soon from our council on negotiations and what that price would be officially.
I think if we're continuing it, we should continue it to a time certain.
If you go to your next meeting, I'd recommend you do it late, because we have the tax rate classification hearing, which we'll do after the meeting with the Select Board and Finance Committee. That should go first, then the tax classification, then continue the hearing. Unfortunately, Paul, you're going to have to be here late. it'll probably be 8:15, I would think.
You want to wait until we hear back from council?
Get it?
Do we get the negotiated prices?
Why not?
Probably 2 weeks, right? You
The
think-
only advantage of deciding on a fee before the end of the calendar year is when Ben sends out the tax bills, we can put the notice in the mailing. If we don't have that opportunity, but we will just, advertise publicly that
I knew that was.
here's the new sticker fee.
And do you need that by the 6th, or do you need it by the next?
The sooner the better, because we send the tax bills to the printer mid-December.
Now.
So the 18th is actually too late.
Yeah, I'd say try to do it on the 4th.
Next item.
4th, yes, not the 6th, sorry.
Did you want, or just?
I mean, how many people fill out the form with the tax bills? I can't answer.
Both
No,
of
a
them.
lot of people do it off of
Doesn't matter.
online. Lines have been the shortest they've ever been lately.
Doesn't matter.
Make a motion, we continue it till January 4th.
Oh, December
Do it
4th.
right now.
December 4th.
December
Do it
4th?
right now.
Okay, December 4th then.
Well, we could vote it now and just do a follow-up later for more data. I'm agreeable.
Yeah, just vote it now, tonight, and hopefully we can get the rest of the, was it Paul Harvey? Used to be on the radio, the rest of the story. So maybe we can get the rest of the story.
So.
'Cause I just think that's,
Withdraw your motion.
Well, let's keep our conversation public. What do we want to do?
I'm okay voting what's before us, but I don't know what the feeling of the rest of the board is.
Do we have a second on the 4th? If that makes any sense.
I gotta rescind my motion, right?
Welcome die with no second.
I'll rescind my motion. Okay.
Mr. Hockner?
Litmus test. I make a motion that we approve the fees as presented this evening for the DPW fee hearing request.
Second.
Motion, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
I'm making a motion to approve the fee schedule increases as presented for the annual DPW fee hearing.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Hockner, second by Mr. George. Any discussion? I call for a vote.
Aye.
All right.
aye.
Aye.
Okay. Abstain.
We need to change them, we can. Okay.
I think probably what makes sense is when that contract is
Yes.
complete, is
Yes.
that we get a briefing on how many stickers we're selling, what the new fee structure looks like, and all that stuff, because there's some blanks here that need to get filled in.
And I know there's a lot of math behind what Paul
No,
presented. We just didn't show it.
I've seen some of these things before, they're just not here
Yeah.
tonight.
Yep.
Well, we voted and we're moving on, but I think we should see the facts as well.
I'll give you the backup.
I surrender. Surrender Dorothy.
Okay. Old business, special town meeting recap.
Yeah, I think I want to thank the voters who showed up on Monday night, and all of the articles that were presented passed, with the exception of the zoning on the expanded accessory dwelling units. So I'm sure the planning board will talk over whether or not they decide to bring that back or adjust it slightly or pass on it. But everything else that was presented passed, and I know, as the board talked about for several meetings leading up to town meeting, that there were a lot of important zoning and bylaw initiatives, so it was really helpful to get some of that in place. And I should say, none of them take effect until the Attorney General's office signs off on them, so that takes a bit. usually 3 months.
I hope they come back with the expanded accessory dwelling unit, because I think that that was one of the most beneficial to either aging in place on your property with an appropriate sized, larger house, or if it was a, like have family stay locally, young or old. I think that was a miss. That was, I think that's that was a beneficial one that they didn't go for, but I think there was some discussion during the meeting that might have skewed where that headed, but that was my take on the situation. But I appreciate the work that went in from
Yes,
Leanne, our
indeed.
team. Yeah, it was good.
Yes, and I'd like to see that come back
Yeah.
as well.
I just wanted to make one point that I think that's important for the public to understand, but, there's the one article that Shane stepped down for based on his personal involvement in that issue and not wanting to have any appearance of conflict of interest. But I think it's really important for folks to understand that we sit on the stage as the folks that formed the warrant and subject matter experts, and we have no authority, power, or control that is different from any other person in the room. We are there as regular voting members of the town, period. There's absolutely no question about it. We might have a little bit louder voice at certain opportunities, but our authority within the meeting is the same as every citizen that attends.
Charlie,
Yes.
would Leanne like to comment on that ADU?
She's welcome.
I would say as Leanne comes up, unanimous from every single person I spoke to, what an exceptional job Leanne did explaining complex issues as simply as she could so we could all understand it. It was incredible.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. Leanne Drake, Director of Community Development. The one thing I will say about the expanded ADUs, when a zoning article fails, there is a cooling off period of 2 years. So I would not be able to reintroduce it to the planning board for 2 years unless it was substantially different and for a substantially different intent. That's just some food for thought as we move forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Select Board authorization of Town Charter Special Act language.
Yeah, so just a quick update. Since your last meeting, there have been several additional remote meetings with the town, our town council, the Senate office attorney, and the legislative representative from Senator Fernandez's office. So the good news is what's in your packet tonight is the final version that Senate Council approved with input from Lauren Goldberg at KP Law. And so in your packet is this actually comes from a PDF, so you could see the clean version instead of all the comments on the side. And then Lauren had proposed the draft motion language that's in your packet. So if you approve this tonight, Taylor White, the town clerk, will certify the vote, and we'll get that back to the Senate Council's office tomorrow. And then they said they would, push as hard as they could to get this done as soon as they could, realizing it's more than just their body. It's got to be certain things go back to the House and then ultimately to the conference committee and to the governor's office.
Thank you. Let me ask the question this way. Is anybody uncomfortable with that?
Okay. Move to approve the charter change home rule petition with revisions proposed by the general court as set forth in the document presented to us tonight by the town manager, and in connection therewith to find that such revisions are consistent with the public purposes of the petition, and further to request that the town manager forward a certified copy of this vote to the town's legislative delegation and Senate Council.
Second.
Motion by Mr. George, second by Mr. Hockter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
And as I know you guys talked last week, or 2 weeks ago, the article combined the vote for the appointed town clerk and all the other changes. So it's all in one now that should make it go faster. When it's voted and it's signed off on law, when you look at it, it's all that legalese language, then town council will take it, prepare a clean Word version, and then we'll get it. It will, take a little bit, not long, but it'll take a little bit to get that back. But when it's all done, then we'll publicize that.
Great. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but
Yep.
I look forward to that.
Yep.
Okay. Other matters not reasonably anticipated by the chairman? I have none. Anybody else?
Do you want to talk about the start time on December 18th now, or do it under new business? Doesn't matter.
Let's do that on the new business, if you
Okay.
don't mind. And I kind of skipped over the tri-board meeting, but we've discussed that, actually.
Yeah, can I, because I'm a control freak on the budget, can I just say one thing? Because you see the one-page summary that I included in the packet. I want to stress this is the draft as it existed on Tuesday. Like literally every day, if Bill Jennings or I change a number in any one of our budgets by $10, then the number changes under the general government recommendation. And so there are a couple of departments, when they receive their budget summaries, they've asked for follow-up meetings to see if some things are accurate, or if there's a certain line item that's cost more. So we've set up meetings to go over those in the next few weeks. And the goal would be, as always, when we do the budget presentation at the end of January. But I think when Bill and Heather are going to be here at the meeting on December 4th, I'm not. But I think they'll go through some of these line items with you and the Finance Committee and the School Committee. And I think for the numbers that you see in green, those are the ones that are fairly complete, that we're pretty assured about. And the ones in yellow are up in the air. And this year, more than ever, I want to stress that the group health insurance number is a real guess. Right now, we're carrying a 15% rate increase based on input that we've been receiving, not different than what is happening across the country. And so we won't know those final rates until late February, mid to late February. And so, as always, what we present to you will be safe and conservative, but we'll go through each of those line items with you more appropriately at the end of January. But we'll also go through them in 2 weeks when we have that joint meeting. But in the big picture, we're in good shape. I know there's a negative number at the bottom, but there's other numbers on the left-hand side, on the revenue side, that we'll know better about once the tax rate's certified in 6 weeks or so, or less. So we're trying to figure that all out.
But is there on the health insurance, because I know some of the numbers nationally are even worse than that.
Yep.
Is there any tip-off, or like if a certain group gets a number ahead of time, or is ours independent totally?
Yeah, we're part of the Mass Interlocal Insurance Association. It is a self-funded group that's more than half the cities and towns in the state are a member of it. There's over $1 billion in revenue that is derived from all those entities. We will find out at the end of January at the MMA annual meeting what the average increase is, but each community doesn't get their individual rate changes until typically February 15th, plus or minus. So they're telling everyone the same percentage to plug in now for the rates, and that's what we did to come up with a number that's in the budget. We're always hopeful that it'll come in less, could come in more. If you look at that quick summary without going into all the detail, like we still have a very, very healthy excess levy reserve. Most towns don't. Without a doubt, if health insurance ends up being like a trend instead of just a 1 or 2 year blip, we're going to have to eat into that in future years to help balance the budget. But that's what many other places are looking at, and several towns hit the wall in the last year and have, pretty well-off towns have had to ask for pretty large overrides to try to keep their budget balanced as is. So That'll all be part of our budget presentation at the end of January.
Okay, so the tri-board meeting for the public is a discussion about where we could be going.
Yeah, where things look, rough ideas on operating budgets, nothing's locked in stone. We've had initial conversations with the school department, but I mean, all the internal work is still a couple months away from being finalized. We're the earliest we've ever been with some of our data, which is why I wouldn't have given you that specific of a number unless I felt pretty confident about it. But I think our goal is to come in with a general government operating budget less than 3%. That's our goal. And it's purely level service, it's funding appropriate cost centers that may have gone up. It's accounting for revenue that we brought in that will help us, but, it's a purely level service, no new position budget.
Okay. Anybody else with anything for Bud?
I would just say quickly, I can't thank the board enough, and then the finance committee and the public for the support, but what we did through that FY25 and beyond, the things that the board especially supported, those things bear fruit every day. It's made a huge difference on the town side, and we thought it would be a 3-year funding effort to try to put in place, and we did it in 2. And I think it's telling, since we have that in place, we're coming back with a very basic budget that looks like it's under 3%. So 25 years ago, the select board always used to talk about a so-called structural deficit because they felt we would need an override every 2 or 3 years. It's been 22 years since we've had an override.
Great. Anybody else? Okay, new business. Accept third quarter 2025 donations. We have a list of them.
Okay. Make a motion to accept third quarter 2025 donations for $13,303.27 as presented.
Second.
As published.
Published.
I guess you did say that. I'm sorry. As presented. Okay. Motion by Mr. George, second by Mr. Hockter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. Okay. Recommended Community Preservation Committee at-large appointment of Richard Anderson. We have a memo from the CPC recommending him. Any discussion? Any thoughts?
Make a motion, we appoint Richard Anderson to fill the vacant member-at-large seat of the Community Preservation Committee.
Second.
Motion by Mr. George, second by Mr. Hockter. All those in favor?
Aye.
I welcome Richard Anderson. Other matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair? I have none. Anybody else? Okay. Public comment. Closing remarks.
Oh, I'm sorry, December 18th. If you want to just keep the 7 o'clock, we'll advertise the hearings accordingly, or did you want to meet early that week?
I was going to suggest that we meet earlier that day, like 5 o'clock.
Early enough?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock? All right.
4?
4.
4 it is.
Really? Okay. I won't argue that one. Okay.
Very busy week.
Thank you.
Okay, closing remarks. We wish our Sandwich community a blessed, safe, and happy Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, please continue to maintain the situation in Eastern Europe and the conditions in the Middle East as overall threats to world peace, as well as those who have suffered here at home, in your thoughts and prayers. So,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
sorry?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. To echo what you said.
Massachusetts General Law, Section 30A, subsection 21A. The chair declares that having an open session may have a detrimental effect upon the town's bargaining, litigating, or negotiating position as applicable. Disposition of real property, Town Hall Annex, 145 Main Street. So we need a motion to close. We will not be reopening a public session until Thursday, December 4th, here in Town Hall at 7 PM.
Motion, we close the meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. George, second Mr. Hockner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Enjoy your Thanksgivings and see you on December 4th at 7 PM. Good night, everyone.